online to watch the case. You have a Mr. Dylan Willis that has a case with you in about a few minutes. I just wanted to watch online. I have no part of it.
Okay, what was the name of the person?
The name was Mr. Dylan Willis. It's spelled Dyland, like Dylan, but with a D at the end. And his last name is Willis.
Okay. Dates, did they make the docket? Woods,
What's his name?
Dylan Woods or Dylan Woods?
Yes, Dylan
Woods.
Willis.
No? Okay. Doesn't look like he made the morning docket. He may make the afternoon docket at 2:30.
You said the afternoon doc. Did you say 12:30 or 2:30? I'm sorry.
2:30.
2:30. Okay, thank you. And you'll be the same judge?
Yeah.
Okay, appreciate
Okay, thanks.
you. Bye-bye.
What? Let me scroll down. I wrote it down last week. $289 on the 23rd. You said 293?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you for your-
It's the safest thing to do.
Yes,
And that does not count today, correct?
I've been 292,
292.
if it doesn't
We
count.
do
today.
not count the day of sentencing.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we will go on the record in the matter 24 CF 89, State of Wisconsin versus Sabrina Arnson. The state appears through District Attorney Kevin Schmidt in person. Ms. Arnson appears in person in custody with counsel Ryan Reed. We're set here today in this matter for a plea and sentencing. The parties have reached an agreement. Mr. Reed, can you please recite the agreement for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Arneson will enter a guilty, no contest plea to count 3. The joint recommendation is for 3 years of initial confinement.
5 years, yes.
Yes, Your Honor, 5 years of extended supervision.
All right, now, at the last hearing last week, it was explained to the court the reasoning and the basis for this agreement and why it was reached. And the state stated on the record that Mr. Lamb, co-defendant, was not a part of or participated in count 3, yet this is charged as a party to a crime. Does the party to a crime enhancer modifier still remain on this count?
I'm indifferent. It's not actually a
Doesn't increase
modifier.
it or
Yeah.
decrease it or do anything of that nature. However, I'm just wondering if that will remain, because otherwise it remains as a party to a crime. The only other potential party would be Benjamin Lamb. And as a
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning, Madam Clerk.
Good morning.
Morning, Ms. Roberts.
Hi.
You did.
What's from the
Hello?
Why would this somehow call us from 30?
Knowingly, intelligently, is all of that correct? And this all constitutes a third-degree felony punished as though it were a second-degree felony. You were giving up your rights to a jury trial and the rights to the appearance, confrontation, cross-examination of witnesses, and you were totally satisfied with the representation provided by your lawyer. All of this is true. Say so help you God.
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 1 made a part of the record for all purposes. Pre-sentence report is waived.
Yes.
I'm going to follow this agreement and make the following findings. You are pleading guilty and true to paragraphs 1 and 2 respectively of this indictment,
Yes, sir.
voluntarily, knowingly, intelligently. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading guilty and true to paragraphs 1 and 2. You are giving up your rights to a jury trial and the rights to the appearance, confrontation, cross-examination of witnesses, totally satisfied with the representation provided by your lawyer. And you understand that State's Exhibit 1 is enough to find you guilty, to support your pleas of guilty, to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this third-degree felony punished as though it were second-degree felony. However, I'm going to defer any finding of guilt and place you on deferred or unadjudicated probation for 10 years.
Yes, sir.
There will be terms and conditions of probation, which are normal and customary for this type of offense. Make sure you follow them. Well, the least thing you need to do, and it's too bad we don't have the driving classes anymore. People just take it's like playing on a computer, which is nothing like operating a 4,000-pound missile, but they can do great damage
Yes, sir.
if they're irresponsibly handled. And running from the police, too often we have tragedy in this room where people have been harmed or killed because of crashes that occur because people are foolishly trying to outrun the police. So you will complete a defensive driving class and pay all fees. You must pay restitution in the amount of $2,000 to Jose Batson, Batzin, who suffered damages in the commission of your offense. And I'm not only finding you guilty in paragraph 1, but true beyond a reasonable doubt of paragraph 2. And what that means is in time, this case can be just dismissed if you do well. If you fail, your probation could be revoked. You could then be found guilty and sentenced up to 20 years in prison. Do you understand how important it is to do well?
Yes, sir.
How are you going to do? Well,
Yes, sir.
I kind of gave you the answer. But it's up to you. It's not to me. You make the choices.
Yes, sir.
You need to act more responsibly than you have acted in the past. And this is the second evading arrest. You know it has consequences.
Yes,
You know it's dangerous, but yet you did it again. How long has he been in jail? Well, this happened on August 14th. Have you been in jail since August?
Yes, sir.
How's that working out for you? Do you are you enjoying yourself?
No, sir.
Good, because I would hate to see you. I would hate to hear you. Yeah, this jail was great.
Yes, sir.
Good. Well, I think that's normal response to anyone, but there's a way of avoiding it.
Yes, sir.
And that's the follow the rule.
Yes, sir.
You going to do that?
Yes, sir.
We'll see.
Thank you.
Please, I think you're going to have to sign something over there.
Do you need?
He's done? All that's done? Okay.
Now,
You see the probation officer? Thank you. Reagan, thanks for breaking the spell and getting a plea done. Hey, John, Jorge Perez. There's a plea, right?
Yes.
Oh, I was just guessing.
Yes. Yeah, but I said, I'm not sure what the status is with them. If you got it, then yes, it's fully. There is something to work.
Jose Perez, is that moving through the system, guys and lady?
There you go.
Well, Sarah's doing it. I can count on that.
With the other guys. Over there.
Hey, Mike,
We swear or affirm.
the mask, do we have a COVID outbreak again?
I don't know.
Let me tell you this,
I had something.
I got-
this weekend.
I got hit this weekend like a horse kicked me.
Yeah,
And I'm feeling a lot better today, but
I
man,
do too. I'm just waiting to see, make sure I don't have any more people before I take this off.
Are you trying this case, Bubble Boy?
Huh?
Are you going to be trying this case, Bubble Boy?
Diamond, can I say something?
Well, I'm gonna scream before you do, just so you know, everything's, let me see. I believe, yep, everything's being live streamed and recorded. You don't have to offer anything at this time, okay? I'm not gonna stop you from saying something, but I just wanna encourage you that at this point, you don't have to offer the court anything. We're about to conduct your hearing and see if we can get you a person on, and then maybe at that point, if you still have something to say, I can
Okay.
I
Yes,
can go
ma'am.
address it with you, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thanks.
All right, good morning, DDC. How are you? Good morning. How are you today?
I'm well, yourself.
Doing pretty good. I think we can go straight down. I've got a couple of retains, but I don't have their files yet, so we can start by just going straight down.
Copy that.
Hi, what's your name, sir?
That's Clarence Bailey.
Thank you. Mr. Bailey, you've got a lot of traffic tickets where you miss court dates. When you miss those dates, the judge issued an arrest warrant for you. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide one for you. Do you understand those rights?
Yes.
Thank you. First ticket is P10741448 with charges of no insurance misdemeanor, driving unregistered vehicle, and driver's license expired. Ticket P110142, driving while license not valid, no insurance misdemeanor, driving unregistered vehicle. P110762, driving while license not valid, driving unregistered vehicle, no insurance misdemeanor. P114435, driving while license not valid, no insurance misdemeanor, driving unregistered vehicle. P115196, failure to display valid operator's license and driving unregistered vehicle. P11538111, driving while license not valid, no insurance misdemeanor, driving unregistered vehicle. P116929, failure to display valid operator's license and driving unregistered vehicle. P11711937, driving unregistered vehicle, no insurance misdemeanor, driving while license not valid. P1284142, driving while license suspended, no insurance misdemeanor, and P1496843, no insurance misdemeanor, driving while license suspended. P1506283, driving while license suspended, no insurance misdemeanor. P1539306, driving while license not valid, and no insurance misdemeanor. P1572595, no insurance misdemeanor, driving while license suspended. P1598958, open alcohol in a motor vehicle as a passenger. P1637685, no insurance misdemeanor, driving while license suspended. P803920, driving unregistered vehicle, no insurance misdemeanor, and improper plates. P938401, driving while license suspended. P976424, driving while license suspended. U66799923, disorderly conduct. 173692751, driving while license not valid. 173880431, no operator's license on person. 173923171, driving while license not valid. 173923181, open alcohol in a motor vehicle as the driver. 184225221, no operator's license on person. 184360541, no operator's license on person. 194849211, no operator's license on person. 184346541, no operator's license on person. And U78020611. Says alcohol-related violations, but it also says conviction set aside automatically by court. All right. Those are all misdemeanor charges, sir. Maximum penalty based on each is up to 93 days in jail and or $500 fine. I'm going to set aside the arrest warrants, enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, and give you a personal bond. Your next court date for all of those tickets is February 26th in front of Judge Yancey here in 36th District Court. Now for your other matter today. This will be case 24044651, State of Michigan versus Evans Clarence Bailey, counsel.
And for Douglas for the people, P72748.
Morning, Your Honor. Ianca Roberts, P76414, appearing on behalf of Mr. Bailey. He's been advised of his rights. He wants to unmute. We ask the court to enter plea of not guilty on his behalf.
So we'll enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf. As to bond, please.
Your Honor, this is a misdemeanor KPS with two failures to appear. The first failure to appear being August 8th of 24, and then the second August 22nd of 24, Your Honor. And so, Your Honor, given that there has been more than one failure to appear in this case, we do believe that there's a demonstrated flight risk. So we are asking for that 1,010% bond to stay in place.
Thank you.
Your Honor, respectfully, although there are listed two failure to appears in the register of acts, the warrant only issued once for KPS, and that's my understanding that issued on August 22nd due to the failing to appear at that court hearing. At the August 8th, although it reflects failure to appear, it was then rescheduled to August 22nd. That being said, Your Honor, my client at this time indicates that he's a lifetime resident of the city of Detroit. It's my understanding that he is currently working, and I do believe because of work is why he had missed his previous court hearing. However, Mr. Bailey does understand that he has to return to court for all future court proceedings. Isn't that correct, Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
I would respectfully ask that you consider giving him another chance, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, sir. While this case is pending, you are not to consume alcohol at any time. You're also not to drive a motor vehicle at any time. Is that clear to you?
Yes.
I'm going to put you on an alcohol tether. The alleged blood alcohol level here is extremely high. What are your client's work hours, Ms. Roberts?
But Monday through Saturday, I believe, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's Monday through Saturday, right, Mr. Bailey?
Monday through Sunday,
Sunday. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Your Honor.
6 a.m. to 6 p.m.?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So you have an alcohol tether, you have a GPS tether. Curfew on GPS tether will be 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. You gotta show up to court, sir.
Will, sir.
Court will set bond of $10,000 personal. Next court date is February 5 for pretrial in front of Judge Jones here in 36th District Court. Thank you, sir. You can step aside.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hi, what's your name, sir?
Richard Deontay Benjamin.
Thank you, Mr. Benjamin. Mr. Benjamin, you've got a number of tickets where you missed court dates. When you miss those dates, the judge issued an arrest warrant for you. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide one for you. Do you understand those rights?
Yes.
All right. First ticket is you, 733-10911, with a charge of minor in possession of tobacco. Ticket U, 734-24411, loitering in a place of illegal occupation. P 1024913. With charge of allowing unlicensed driver to drive. P 1136498. Driving while license not valid. P 1138303. Driving commercial motor vehicle with no license in possession. P 1181872. No insurance misdemeanor and driving while license not valid. P 1182518. No insurance misdemeanor, driving while license suspended. P 1191062. Failure to display valid operator's license and no insurance misdemeanor. P 1219540, driving while license not valid. P 1239493, driving while license suspended. P 1434457, driving while license suspended. P 1478043, driving while license suspended. And 706207, no insurance. These are all misdemeanor charges. Maximum penalty you face on each is up to 93 days in jail and or $500 fine. I'm going to set aside the arrest warrants, enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, give you a personal bond. Your next court date on these tickets is February 24 for pretrial in front of Judge Yancey here in 36th District Court. Your other matter today is case 22045424, State of Michigan versus Richard Deontay Benjamin. Counsels.
Thank you, Mr. Great. Good morning. Steve Vincent for the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. For Roberts, P76414, appearing on behalf of Mr. Benjamin. Your Honor, Mr. Benjamin's been advised of his rights, will stand mute. We ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Court will enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf as to bond.
Magistrate, I have it being charged as a misdemeanor A and B. I haven't found any context between the defendant and the complaining witness since the incident of, I see it as March of 22. We're not going to be objecting to a personal bond at this time. Requesting a no contact through the pendency with that Mr. Middendorf.
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, sir. While this case is pending, you are not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapons. You have no contact with the complaining witness, Mr. Middendorf, and no contact with the Field Street address. Is all of that clear to you?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Court will set bond at $5,000 personal. Next court date is a pre-trial February 5 in front of Judge Bryant here in 36th District Court. Thank you, sir. You can step aside.
Next matter. Desmond Carter.
What's your name, please?
Desmond Carter.
Thank you, sir. One moment. Comments, how are you? All right, Mr. Carter. You've got two matters with us. I think there's actually a third one that should have been coming along, but we'll try to track that down. You also have some traffic tickets where you missed court dates. When you miss those dates, the judge issued an arrest warrant for you. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide one for you. Do you understand those rights, sir?
Yes.
Okay, first ticket is P 1601224 with a charge of loitering. Ticket U 688-45524. Trespassing for the purpose of committing retail fraud. And U 689-55424, retail fraud. These are all misdemeanor charges. Maximum penalty you face on each is up to 93 days in jail and or a $500 fine. I'm going to set aside the arrest warrants. Enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, give you personal bond. Your next court date on these matters is a pretrial February 25 in front of Judge Kennedy here in 36th District Court. Now your other two matters. And that's 274. Are case 23-045-283 and 25-044-274. State of Michigan versus Desmond Lamar Carter. Counsel.
Good morning, Your Honor. Samuel E. Reagan, P23-157 on behalf of the people. Good morning, Ms. Roberts.
Good morning, everyone. Antoine Roberts, P76414, appearing on behalf of Mr. Carter. Your Honor, Mr. Carter has been advised of his rights. He will stand mute, and we ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on all matters before the court.
Court will enter a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. In the 23 case, there's a $100 10% KPS as to bond.
Well, Your Honor, the defendant has, as you can see, multiple cases. In the month of March alone, he had he was charged with 5 retail frauds, third, and all 5 cases were dismissed. In the cases that you have now in front of you, the 23 case, he failed to appear back in 1923. He failed to appear on 10/31/23. He failed to appear on 4/24/24. And 5/1/24, so he doesn't show up for court, Your Honor. So people are gonna ask that he has a tether with home arrest, number one, and number two, we believe that hopefully we'll believe in a personal bond, Your Honor. Leave the bond as it is, $100, 10%, but with a tether home arrest on the one case, that's the Capias, and on the second case, that is the 25 case where he's charged with retail fraud and second and trespass. We're going to ask for tether home arrest on that one as well. We're also going to ask for a personal bond of $25,000. Thank you.
Thank you. And before you get started, Ms. Roberts, I've got the third file for Mr. Carter. That's going to be 25-044-276. Also entitled State of Michigan versus Desmond Lamar Carter, and also involving allegations of retail fraud. I'm assuming, Mr. Ragnar, your bond argument would carry over to the third file?
Yes, Your Honor, it does. Thank you.
Your Honor, Respectfully ask for personal bond on all matters, starting with the matter of which a KPS was issued, Your Honor. It's my understanding that KPS issued the most recent KPS May 1st due to a failure to appear at pretrial on April 24th, 2024. Our office did verify with the Wayne County Jail that they're indicating he was in custody on April 24th, 2024, and he was released on May 15th, 2024. So at least for that most recent KPS, Your Honor, that would explain his whereabouts. I would ask that you consider giving him another chance and giving him personal bond. All of these matters are non-assaulted misdemeanors before the court here today. My client's not able to post any money for bond. It's my understanding he does have a job, Your Honor. He is working at a restaurant Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. I would hate to see him lose his job as a result of staying in custody on these non-assaulted misdemeanors. He indicates that he is a lifetime resident of the city of Detroit. My understanding, he's 30 years old. Respectfully, just ask for personal bonds as long as there's no contact with all complaining witnesses.
What was his work? What were his work hours again?
9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday.
All right, sir. Bond on each of these cases will be $1,000 personal.
Did you say 1,000, Your Honor?
Correct.
Thank you.
Are these all? No. Okay, this one is, so you're gonna have no contact with any Rite Aid if there are still any Rite Aids around? And no contact?
I don't think it's.
No contact with any Myers store? You will have in the 23 case of GPS tether, curfew on that tether is 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Again, bond is 1,000 personal in each case. Next court dates are February for the 23 case. So these two have February 5th and this has February 6th.
We didn't know he had it. Oh, she did this. So,
Okay.
just sign this, I changed it.
Okay, great. Next court date in all three cases will be a pretrial February 5th in front of Judge Bryant here in 36th District Court. Thank you, sir. You can step aside.
Thank you.
Next matter. They.
Thank you, sir. I'll be right with you. I gotta sign a bunch of stuff on the previous case. Oh, okay. These are all the files? Oh, okay. Thanks. Uh-huh. Yeah, I figured as much. Yeah. Mr. Sard, you're on Graham, you said?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm on Graham, Terrence Graham.
All right, and I think someone told me Adam Clements is on the code on that one.
I believe
Yes,
so.
That's correct.
All right, DDC, after this gentleman, let's get Terrence Graham and Diamante Warren. They are number 16 and 17. All right, gentlemen of DDC, what's your name again, sir?
Marvin Martinez Bridges.
Thank you. All right, this will be case 15045-654, State of Michigan versus Marvin Martinez Bridges, counsels.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Good morning, Yasma Roberts, appearing on behalf of Mr. Bridges, who's been advised of his rights, but have mute, asked the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Court will enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf. As to bond, there's a $1,000 10% capious in the file. I previously gave Mr. Bridges a $500 personal bond back in 2023 as the bond.
Your Honor, it does look like there was one prior failure to appear. At this time, we do think that there is a demonstrated flight risk. However, given the age, we would leave it up to the court's discretion, given the age of the case.
Your Honor, respectfully ask for personal bond. Mr. Bridges is not able to post any money for bond, and this is essentially a traffic related. This is a driving while license suspended, revoked, or denied allegation. So it's not assault, but essentially could even be on the traffic docket, but it's not because of the way that it was filed. So respectfully ask that you take into consideration, although there's prior habeas history, what the actual charge before the court is, and give him a personal bond, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. While this case is pending, you're not to drive without a valid license. Is that clear?
Yes.
We'll set bond of 1,000 personal. Next court date is February 5 for pretrial in front of Judge Bryant here in 36th District Court. Thank you, sir. You can step aside.
Terrence Graham.
Thank you. This will be case 24-060905, defendants 1 and 2, State of Michigan versus Terrence Anthony Graham and Diamante Mateo Warren, counsels.
Jennifer
Yes.
Douglas for the people, P72748.
Good morning, Your Honor. Stephen Sharg on behalf of Terrence Graham, P43732.
May it please the court, Judge. My name is Adam Clements. My P number is 77233. I appear on behalf of Mr. Warren, who's present at the Detroit Detention Center via Zoom.
Well, do you both defense counsels waive formal reading?
Yes, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Graham.
Yes, that's to Mr. Warren.
Thank you. Court will enter not guilty plea on both defendants. As to bond, please.
Your Honor, on both defendants, the people would be asking for a bond of $10,000 cash as surety and no contact. Your Honor, we do have concerns for safety, given the allegations here. One of knocking somebody down and then also kicking somebody in while they are on the ground. So, Your Honor, we do have those safety concerns. We do recognize the age of the case, but Your Honor, it is not that long ago, approximately half a year ago. So, Your Honor, we do believe that in the circumstances, a money bond is appropriate. That's why we're asking for $10,000 cash or surety and no contact. As far as Mr. Graham goes, he had a 2013 HIDA felony firearm fleeing third case. And then Mr. Warren had a 2020 case in Indiana for felonious assault. So, Your Honor, we're asking for that money bond to ensure the safety of the public.
Thank you. Whoever wants to go first.
Judge, on behalf of Mr. Graham, I would indicate to you that my client is a lifetime resident of this area. He's the father of 2 children. This case is an old case. He voluntarily surrendered himself this morning when he found out about this warrant, which I believe was just issued not too long ago. Also, my client is employed, and Your Honor, I believe a personal bond is warranted in this matter. He did satisfactorily complete his HIDA program, which was years ago. And he has no prior, nothing since that period of time. And he will show up for any court dates. I don't believe he even knew who the victim was in this matter. So there's no reason that there's be any retaliation of any sort. So respectfully, would ask for a personal bond.
So Judge, I would be remiss if I didn't, I would echo some of the similar arguments his brother counsel made as it relates to my client being a lifelong resident. We were notified of this particular warrant while he was out of the state. And in order for him to get back, we contacted the fugitive apprehension team over the weekend, notified him that he would be meeting them there at 5 o'clock this morning. Both he and Mr. Graham beat the agents there. So they were there early, they were responsive. And as it relates factually, Judge, I would be remiss if I didn't tell the court, we've been able to secure video evidence in this particular case that we believe very strongly will exonerate our clients. I'm not sure what type of evidentiary review was done. I don't have the investigator's report in front of me. I know that the court does, but I dispute that Mr. Warren, and frankly, I also dispute that Mr. Graham, that either one of them struck anyone and knocked either anyone down on that particular day. What I suspect is that because my client is a successful recording artist, that he was low-hanging fruit and that he was an easy target for being present at a location to say, hey, we'll just put all this on Mr. Warren. My client has very minimal contacts with the criminal justice system. He's been cooperative. He doesn't know who this person is. And normally I wouldn't push back on $1,000 cash surety bond because it's not financially unaffordable for my client. It's unreasonable, Judge, because this took place more than 6 months ago. They've been compliant and cooperative. They never ran. It took the government an extensively long period of time to sign this particular warrant. So to somehow take the position now that there's a concern for public safety, if that was the concern, then why didn't they expedite the investigation along and move the process along faster? The defendant shouldn't be penalized for that. So for all those reasons, Judge, I'm asking for a personal bond for Mr. Warren. And I'm asking that we be allowed to make quick work of this matter at the preliminary examination.
Thank you. So you indicate you've got some video that you believe would exonerate your clients?
Yes.
Okay.
I had spoken to his manager. My client has a manager that was able to secure some video of the incident, and I believe that it will speak volumes about what actually took place on that particular day.
Okay. Okay, the only videos they mention here in the police report are apparently corroborating the allegations, but that'll be something you gentlemen can work out. I'm sure you'll do just fine. Right. While this case is pending, gentlemen, neither one of you have any contact with either of the complaining witnesses. You're not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You have no contact with the 519 East Jefferson address. Is all that clear to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Court will set bond at $20,000 personal for each case. Next court date is February 5, probable cause conference, February 12th, preliminary exam, both in front of Judge Jefferson here at 36th District Court. Anything else for this record?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor. We appreciate it. Thanks again for expediting this matter.
Thank you.
I'll give you a call, Steve.
Your Honor,
Yes.
can I please ask DDC to put the add-on Jamila Vassar on the female side, Officer Green? Thank you.
One moment, sir. I'll be right with you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Stand up.
I'm sorry, what was that name again?
Dion Tyron Hawkins.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Hawkins, you've got some traffic matters where you missed some court dates. When you missed those dates, a judge issued an arrest warrant for you. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide one for you. You understand those rights, sir?
Yes, sir.
One moment. Get your new court date.
But that's what my mom and pop stayed on. My mama was the tape lady back in the day. She was very proud on the side.
First ticket is P1476354 with a charge of driving while license suspended. P1029308, driver's license expired. C5540041, driving while license suspended. And P1629416, driving while license suspended and no insurance misdemeanor. These are all misdemeanor charges. Maximum penalty you face on each is up to 93 days in jail and or a $500 fine. I'm going to set aside the arrest warrants, enter not guilty plea on your behalf, and give you a personal bond. Madam Clerk, what judge is this? Next court date, 25, trial in front of Judge Millhouse here in 36th District Court. Your other matter today is case 21-044406, State of Michigan versus Tyron Hawkins. Counsel.
Thank you, Magistrate Stevenson, for the people.
Good morning. Yannifer Roberts appearing on behalf of Mr. Hawkins has been advised of his rights, will stand mute, ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Court will enter a not guilty plea on your client's behalf as to bond.
Magistrate being charged is 2 counts of misdemeanor A and B. I have an incident date of August in 2020. I also don't have the defendant ever being arraigned. We're not going to be objecting to a personal at this time. We're not going to hold his prior convictions of armed robbery and A and B against him. It's about a 4+ year old case at this point. We would be asking for a no contact, though, with that Miss Miller and Powell for the pendency of the case.
Your Honor, no objection.
Thank you, sir. While this case is pending, you are not to possess a firearm, any other dangerous weapon, and you have no contact with Ms. Miller or Ms. Powell. Is that clear? Court will set bond $10,000 personal. Next court date is February 6th for a pretrial in front of Judge Bryan. Thank you, sir. You can step aside. DDC, I'm going to take the Wayne County people, and I'll be back to you shortly.
Go have a seat.
All right, who is Mr. Range? You know Mr. Range? Okay. Thank you, sir. And this will be case 22-056-797, State of Michigan versus Eddie Range. Counsel.
Samuel A. Ragland for the people, Your Honor.
Angela Roberts appearing on behalf of Mr. Range has been advised of his rights. Both stand mute, ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Court will enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf. As to bond.
Well, Your Honor, he owes $25,343 on a $343 a month payment, but we're going to ask for 25% of that, which is about $6,500 as a personal bond.
No objection to personal bond, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court will set bond at $7,000 personal. Ms. Roberts, is your client employed?
My client receives government assistance and does some home improvement, Your Honor.
All right, 7,000 personal. Next court date is February 19 at 9 a.m. in front of Judge Prentice Edwards in the new jail facility. Thank you, Mr. Range. You're all set.
Good.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And the other gentleman at the
Miss
in Wayne
Green.
County, what's your name?
Green.
Oh,
Green.
Ivory Green,
I
right?
don't have my wig on. You okay, Honor?
Okay. I'm seeing mix in the Ivory Green. Huh? Oh, okay, thanks. All right, this will be case 1904551, State of Michigan versus Ivory Lynn Green. Counsel.
What's that?
Thank you, Magistrate. Steve Vincent for the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Angela Roberts appearing on behalf of Ivory Green has been advised of her rights. She will stand mute. We ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on her behalf.
Thank you. Court will enter a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. There is a habeas. That's a little. I see a capias at 510% entered in October of 23. Does anybody have anything different than that?
I do.
Yes, I believe that's old. There should be a more recent one from 2024, June 12, 2024, because of failure to appear June 11, 24.
So. Good morning.
5,010%.
Vincent?
Yes, Magistrate.
All right, as to bond.
We're going to ask you to keep it. This is the 7th failure to appear in this case. She has 2 ongoing cases, one with 4 failures to appear, one with 3 failures to appear respectively. One of them's a retail fraud. One of them's an assault and battery. It's clear she doesn't make it to court date, so respectfully going to ask you to continue this. She's been failing to appear since her first hearing date that was scheduled in 2019 after arraignment. So 5,010%. We're just gonna ask you to continue.
Your Honor, I don't believe my client's able to post any money for bond. I do believe the most recent failure to appear on this case was due to a problematic pregnancy for my client. My client is currently in school. She's missing school while being in custody. She also needs to take care of her children. She receives government assistance, and is currently staying with her mother. It's my understanding she is a mother herself of 2 and a lifetime resident of the state of Michigan. I would respectfully ask that you consider personal bond for Ms. Green.
Thank you. Ms. Green has had several personal bonds in the past and apparently has not shown up.
I will show up, Your Honor. Please give me one more chance, Your Honor. Please, I beg of you. Please, please.
Well, ma'am, we've given you a lot of chances.
I was
Given
pregnant.
a lot of chances.
I was pregnant, Your Honor. The last 2 times I was pregnant. I'm by myself. I'm single, Your Honor, taking care of my kids. My granny, she's the only one that can take care of them at the time while I'm in here. I'm trying to do good. These are old, this is old stuff, but I know I still have to report. I'm going on tether anyway. If you do, Your Honor, give me a personal. I'm still gonna have to wait for tether.
And counsel, are you aware of that? Why would does she have a tether on a different case or what?
Yeah.
Which counsel are you asking me?
I was asking you, but if either of you knows, that'd be fine.
So I do know that the 2 cases that are going to Judge Bryant both incorporate a tether. One case is a $5,000 personal bond with a tether, and one case is a $20 10% with tether. For other pending matter, I'm not sure what the bond is. Or the current status of that.
Are they all in front of Judge Bryant?
Those 2 are, Your Honor, but the other matter I need information from the jail for.
Okay.
Because I don't know the status of that other matter, the larceny.
Larceny?
All right. Court will set bond 5,000 personal. Next court date is February 6th for a pretrial in front of Judge Bryant. Ms. Green, if you don't show up February 6th, I'm not letting you back out again. Is that clear?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Honor. Thank you. I hear you. Thank you. February the 6th.
Yep. All right. Have a great day.
Can I have the bond amount again? Did you say 5,000 personal, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. The other gentleman at Wayne County, what's your name, sir?
Mr. Charles McCourt, sir.
Thank you. We've got 2 matters with us today. They are 22-057-439 and 22-057-440, State of Michigan versus Charles LaCour, counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P 72748.
Morning, Amber Roberts appearing on behalf of Mr. LaCour has been advised that his rights will stand mute as the court tendered plea of not guilty on his behalf on both matters.
Court will enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf as to bond.
Your Honor, on the case ending in 439, the amount owing at the time of the complaint is $68,853.18, 25% of which would be $17,213.29. Your Honor, the people would not object to a personal bond if the court finds good cause. In the other case, 25% of the arrearage at the time of the complaint would be $2,541. Your Honor, we would not object to personal if the court finds good cause.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I have no objection to personal bonds in these matters. My client's 49 years old. He indicates that he does not have any prior criminal convictions. It's my understanding that he is currently working, Your Honor. So we would ask that you consider personal bonds in both cases.
Thank you. Court finds that your client's continued employment is good cause to deviate from the statute. In the case ending in 439, court will set bond at 20,000 personal. Case ending in 440, court will set bond at 3,000 personal. Next court date for both cases is February 19 at 9 a.m. in front of Judge Edwards in the new county criminal facility. Thank you, sir. You're all set.
What happened?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Okay, DDC, we're back to you. What's your name, sir?
My name is Dylan Eddie Willis.
Thank you. This is, oh, you have a traffic ticket we want to deal with first where you missed a court date. When you missed that court date, a judge issued an arrest warrant for you. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide one for you. Do you understand those rights, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Madam Clerk? On this ticket, 1 and 3 are both misdemeanors, but I only have a admit for 1.
You said 1 and 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to take it out.
We don't make them, for the 30th. It's traffic. Not the 30th. I mean, March 10th. And we're gonna reprint out. I mean, just the 2. Yeah, so he got a show cost, but on 3 on March the 10th. So she's gonna make another cost. Yeah. March 10th. You know, he actually did. I think you got another ticket. You know. Just reprint it. Well, he need the other counts for the other tickets. I mean, well, I'll wait for that, the last one that you just did.
Okay. This will be ticket P 11795538 with charges of failure to display valid operator's license and driving an unregistered vehicle. These are both misdemeanor counts. Maximum penalty you face on each is up to 93 days in jail and or $500 fine. I'm going to set aside the arrest warrants, enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, give you a personal bond. Your next court date for both will be March the 10th for a pretrial in front of Judge King. Your other matter today is case 25044038, Michigan versus Island Eddie Willis. Counsels.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Jennifer Roberts appearing on behalf of Mr. Willis, who's been advised of his rights, will stand mute. We ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Court will enter a not guilty plea on your client's behalf as to bond.
Your Honor, on Mr. Willis, the people wouldn't object to 2,000 personal.
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sir, while this case is pending, you're not to have any contact with any Dollar General store. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
$200 personal. Next court date is February 3rd for pretrial in front of Judge Jones here in 36th District Court. Thank you, sir. You can step aside.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What's your name, sir?
Robert Michael Savage.
Thank you. This will be case 19046-547, State of Michigan versus Robert Michael Savage. Counsel.
Samuel A. Ragnan for the people, Your Honor.
Jennifer Roberts appearing on behalf of Mr. Savage, who's been advised of his rights, will stand mute, and we ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Thank you. Court will enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf as to bond.
People are going to ask for a $1,000 personal bond, Your Honor. This incident occurred back in 2018. It's a 2,000 asking for a $1,000 personal bond.
No objection to personal bond, Your Honor.
Thank you. One moment. All right, sir, while this case is pending, you are not to drive a motor vehicle without a valid license. Is that clear?
Yes, sir, I have a valid license.
We'll set bond at $1,000 personal. Next court date is February 3rd for pretrial in front of Judge Jones. Thank you, sir. You can step aside.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What's your name, sir? I'm sorry, sir. Can you repeat your name one more time, please?
Alexis Laurie.
Did you say Elijah Harden, sir?
Alexis.
Alexis Laurie.
Oh, thank you. And so you've got two matters with us today. Let's do the misdemeanor first. This will be case 21-044-969, State of Michigan versus Alexis Harvey. Counsel.
Thank you, Magistrate. Steve Vincent, P 71917.
Anthony Roberts appearing on behalf of Mr. Harvey has been advised of his rights to stand mute. We ask the court to enter plea of not guilty on his behalf. Thank you.
I don't even know what
Hold on, sir. Court will enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf. There's a $1,000 10% capias in the file. As to bond.
Magistrate, we're going to ask you to continue this. The capias was from March of last year. It's the fourth failure to appear. The defendant's been given personal bonds and tether. Nothing seems to work. So respectfully going to ask you to continue that. He's been capiasing since September of 21. And I have 4 total failures to appear, 3 capias. And the allegations are pretty substantial. He ended up putting somebody in the hospital as a direct result of that metal pole that he used. He ended up dislocating allegedly individual's shoulder.
Thank you.
That was self-defense, sir?
Mr. Harvey, we're gonna get into what really happened later on, okay? This is just the arraignment stage, and you have a right to remain silent. So I would encourage you to go ahead and exercise that right now, only because everything you're saying is being recorded as well as live streamed, okay? But I do understand your position, and the magistrate did just hear you say that that was self-defense, so thank you. But Your Honor, I would respectfully ask that you consider a personal bond. It's my understanding that unfortunately, Mr. Harvey believed that this was dismissed and got it confused with another court date. But as he stands before you now, Mr. Harvey does understand that this case is still continuing, right, Mr. Harvey?
I don't know which one. The one with the self-defense?
This is the allegation. Right now, we're talking about the allegation of aggravated assault from 2021, okay? So that case
That
is
was
still,
self-defense, man.
I understand, but it's still pending and you gotta come back to court and you know that, right, Mr. Harvey?
But I also get the date and all the phones are homeless. They pick me up off the streets on people and married at the gas station. I'm homeless, so I didn't have a phone.
Right, but you can come on down to the courthouse, right? You know.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So I think that, that being the case, Your Honor, Mr. Harvey, you can come down to the courthouse to get this resolved, the 2021. And then I know that there is another case of which he's about to get arraigned on, but that one also appears to go back to 2021, July 25th, 2021. I know we're gonna deal with that next, but I just don't want the court, to use the new case against him in a manner in which we're making sure that the court understands that that's an old case as well. It's my understanding that Mr. Harvey can't post anything for bond at this time. Your Honor, I do believe, unfortunately, he does suffer from homelessness. So we would just ask, he's not working, that you do consider giving him a personal bond on this and giving him another chance to appear in this matter, especially since Mr. Harvey just acknowledged that he can come down to the courthouse.
Yes, I can. Is it 36th District?
Yes, Mr. Harvey.
Yeah, thank you. Can I get the?
All right, sir, while this case is pending, you're not to possess a firearm, any other dangerous weapon. You're to have no contact with Mr. Smith and no contact with the Lebo street address. Is all of that clear to you?
Yes.
We'll set by on this matter $2,000 personal. Next court date is February 6th for pretrial in front of Judge Bryant. Your other matter today, sir, is case 24-06-0072, State of Michigan versus Alexis Harvey. Counsels.
Steve Vincent for the people.
Anthony Roberts appearing on behalf of Mr. Harvey, who's been advised of his rights, will stand mute. Ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf, please, Your Honor.
Court will enter a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. As to bond.
Magistrate, it's assaultive, but it's an incident that took place in 21. Actually, it was as a direct result of the arrest on that aggravated assault where he was being detained awaiting arraignment that he allegedly ended up assaulting a prison official. We're going to be asking for a tether. There's a clear flight risk in this. We're seen as though he failed to appear 4 different times in the previous case. So
I didn't even hear about that. I never even heard about that court case. I'm not fleeing from no one, so I never heard about that court case. And I was never sent out to my mom to even give me notice.
Sir.
I'm not gonna lie, so know what you.
I know, sir, but you'll have an opportunity to talk later. Okay, don't interrupt the lawyers while they're talking and don't interrupt me while I'm talking. If you want to say something later, you'll have that opportunity. Sorry, Mr. Vincent, go ahead.
No, that's all right. In terms of the arraignment on the prior case, he was actually given a tether at arraignment. He was given a tether twice in that case, only to have that tether removed and for him to not appear the following hearing after his tether was removed. So respectfully, Judge, I think you can see it as a potential flight risk. We're going to be asking for a tether in this matter.
Your Honor, if you look at the complaint, this wasn't even signed by this court until October 22nd, 2024. It looks like it wasn't authorized from the prosecutor's office until January 15, 2024. The incident date, as alleged, goes back to July 25th, 2021. I believe we already addressed the other case. The court was already made aware of KPS history, and the court elected to give Mr. Harvey a personal bond on that matter. I would respectfully ask that the court give him personal bond on this matter as well. For again, to make sure the court understands, Mr. Harvey did indicate that he suffers from homelessness, but he also did acknowledge to the court that he can come down to the court in person. Isn't that correct, Mr. Harvey? Just that you can come to court. Okay, thank you. He's not able. Hold on one second. Hold on one second, Mr. Harvey. Just 1 second, okay? So he's not able to post any money for bond. He's not working at this time, Your Honor. I would respectfully ask that you give him the same bond in this case as you did in the misdemeanor case, especially since there's such significant time that has passed in the new case, and that this is the first arraignment on this case.
That's what I was gonna ask. Why is my first, when I'm hearing about that, I touched a prison official, a judge official. Why am I now hearing about that, not then? It was 2021, in 2025. Why am I not just hearing about that now? All these times.
That's an excellent point, Mr. Harvey, and I think that's because they didn't even sign off on this until 2024 is when it started to come up as an actual case, okay?
Okay, sir, while this case is pending, you have no contact with the complaining witness. You will be, and you're not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You will have a GPS tether on house arrest. Court will set bond at $10,000 personal. Next court date is February 5, probable cause conference, February 12, preliminary exam, both in front of Judge Taylor here in 36th District Court.
Your Honor,
Thank you, sir.
Can I have those dates again, and can the court please sign an order that would allow possible release to a facility if Mr. Harvey's not able to have a verifiable address to tether?
I have a verifiable address from Myers and Pilgrim in the Bandit. It's a Bando, but I stay there.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey.
It's right across from my house.
Those dates again, counsel, are February 5 and February 12 in front of Judge Taylor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your name, sir?
Tony Daniel Smith.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. So you got a number of tickets where you missed court dates. When you miss those dates, the judge issued an arrest warrant for you. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide one for you. You understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
First ticket is U 658-178-23. Possession of suspected cocaine and heroin. Ticket U 658-179-23. Yes, possession of drug paraphernalia. U 613-312-21. Violation of controlled substance code. Suspected crack. P 122-5027. Driving while license suspended and no insurance misdemeanor. P 124-0402. No insurance misdemeanor. Driving while license suspended. SP 12554311, no insurance misdemeanor. P 1278098, driving while license suspended, no insurance misdemeanor, and fraudulent insurance information. P 1478842, possession of drug paraphernalia. These are all misdemeanor charges. Maximum penalty you face on each is up to 93 days in jail and or $500 fine. I'm going to set aside the arrest warrant, enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, and give you a personal bond. Your next court date for these is a pretrial February 25 in front of Judge Archer here in 36th District Court. Your other matter today is case 22-057282, State of Michigan versus Tony Darnell Smith. Counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P 72748.
Andrew Roberts appearing on behalf of Mr. Smith, who's been advised of his rights, will stand mute as the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Court will enter a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. There's a $1,000 cash surety capious in the file as to bond.
The judge was going to.
Yes, Your Honor,
I
I was just gonna say, I would ask if this honorable court's clerks have made contact with the Honorable Judge Taylor's clerks.
Thanks. Did you guys reach out to Judge Taylor? Madam Clerk,
Yes.
did you all reach out to Judge Taylor on Tony Smith on the KPS?
Yeah. Okay. Is that him right there?
Yes. Okay, sounds good. Judge Taylor is going to zoom in about 10 or 15 minutes. So if we can pass Mr. Smith, we'll come back to him.
Thank you.
Have a seat.
Hi, what's your name, sir?
Bill Deshaun Parks.
All right, Mr. Parks, you've got some traffic tickets we're gonna deal with first where you missed some court dates. When you miss those dates, a judge issues an arrest warrant for you. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford, and the court will provide one for you. Do you understand those rights, sir?
Yes.
All right, first ticket is P1096-174 with charges of driver's license never required and no insurance misdemeanor. Next ticket is P1108188, driver's license never required. P1111713, no insurance misdemeanor, driving while license not valid. P1139232, failure to display valid operator's license and no plates on the trailer. Ticket P1141659, driving while license not valid. P1152023, driving unregistered vehicle, driving while unlicensed. P1194100, driving while license suspended. P1231670, driving unregistered vehicle, driving while unlicensed. P1645285, driving while license suspended, and X3808158, no operator's license. Sir, these are all misdemeanor charges. Maximum penalty you face on each is up to 93 days in jail and or $500 fine. I'm going to set aside the arrest warrants, enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, give you a personal bond. Your next court date is a pretrial on February 24th in front of Judge Ramsey Heath here in 36th District Court. Your other matter today is case 17046-172, State of Michigan versus Lavelle Deshaun Parks. Counsel.
Emily Ragland for the people, Your Honor.
Amber Roberts appearing on behalf of Mr. Parks. He's been advised of his rights. He will stay on mute. We ask the court to enter plea of not guilty on his behalf, Your Honor.
Thank you. There is a $100 10% capias in the file. As to bond.
Well, Your Honor, we would be asking for a personal bond, but we're asking for a tether with a curfew on it, so he could come to work, so we could get this case finished. It's from 2017.
Your Honor, respectfully, no objection to personal bond. However, I would ask that you not consider the tether. Mr. Parks indicates that he did 6 months in the Wayne County Jail previously, and then he went into a treatment program. He says he never got notice of anything, and he thought that he was good after doing the jail time. Obviously, as Mr. Parks is before the court here today, Mr. Parks, you do understand you have to come back to court on this case, right?
Yes, I just didn't have a court date. I would have been came, but when I got let out the treatment center, I asked them, because it was on the paper, I asked them, I said, do I need to go to court? The man told me, he said, you did the jail time already, so I didn't know.
Understood, but now you understand you gotta come back, right?
Yes.
So based on that, Your Honor, I would ask that you consider giving Mr. Parks another chance. He's not able to post any money for bond at this time. It's my understanding that he indicates being a lifetime resident of the city of Detroit, being a father of 3, and he does currently work, Your Honor. It's my understanding he does do DoorDash with his sister.
You said he does DoorDash?
With a family member, yes.
What
Well, he indicates that his days and hours vary. So that's what I have. That's the information I have at this time, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, will be a GPS tether. Curfew on that tether will be 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Court will set bond at, what did you say, Mr. Ragnar?
$5,000 personal fine. I didn't really say anything, but that sounds fine.
100 personal. Next court date is a review date on February 6th in front of Judge Bryant here in 36th District Court. Thank you, sir. You can step aside. And Tony Smith back. We've got Judge Taylor here for Tony Smith. Good afternoon, Judge. How are you?
How you doing, Your Honor?
You all right? All right. Do we have a, or no? Do you know, counsel? I mean, judge.
It's gonna be
I
me
don't-
today.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All
You
right, so
sure? 'Cause
give me-
this is one of those cases. I know there's an issue. This is a felony.
And we've been asked to do them, if the judge zooms into this courtroom, we've been asked to do them for now.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now calling the matter of the people versus Tony Darnell Smith. This is case number 22057282201. Count 1, controlled substance possession less than 25 grams. Count 2, tampering with evidence. This is the date and time set for and on a bench warrant. Appearances for the record, starting with counsel for the people, please.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Judge, and good morning, man. Please, this honorable court, Philip Reagan, P57156, on behalf of Mr. Tony Smith, who is appearing via Zoom with no objection, judge from DDC.
All right. So he will appear from Zoom with no objection. Counsel, was he for new cases today?
Judge, it looks like, no, it looks like this is a case. He was walking on the street, got picked up Thursday night. It's a old case from 2021. Now, Judge, he does have a pending matter. It looks like out in Clinton Township. You know, Judge, but I don't think he has a new case here. Ms. Douglas can correct me if I'm wrong, Your Honor.
I am not aware of a new case.
Okay. All right. So we're just dealing with this instant matter. I'll hear argument, but just so you know, this would be his third capious.
Well, Judge, hold on, Ms. Smith. Well, Judge, I would ask the court, you know, his bond right now is 1,000 cash surety. As the court stated, he has multiple capiouses. He capious last December the 10th. He's 64. He's unemployed. He's on SSI right now. You know, Judge, this is a, you know, it's a non-assaulted case. One of the things I look at also, there are some other issues, physical issues, I believe maybe mental issues that Mr. Smith is dealing with. You know, he says he lost his phone, Judge. But obviously, we still need to make it to court. We still got to figure out a way to get to court. So I'm just asking the court to consider. He's been capious 3 times, Judge. Whatever measures the court feels that the court can do to get him here, I just would ask for a personal bond in this case, but whatever other conditions the court did set.
Any response from the people at the?
Your Honor, we would say that Mr. Smith has been given multiple chances. Capious bond will ensure his presence in court. However, if it was personal, if there was a tether, then the people believe that that could also secure his presence in court.
All right. Thank you. The court has heard the arguments in this particular matter. The court has been trying to actively handle this matter, and to do so, it appears that a personal bond was set back at $5,000 for an arraignment on a cancel warrant on July 26th of 2023. They again attempted to hear the proceedings. He failed to appear. A $2,000 bond was set into place at that point in time. He then appeared again on November 9th of 2024. A new bond was put into place at that point in time, a personal bond of $2,000. He was also set for a preliminary examination on December 10th. He failed to appear from that at that point in time. I issued a $1,000 cash surety bond in this particular matter. We need to handle this matter. It's from 2021. There has not been any movement on it because he has not returned to court. The court does at this point in time think it's appropriate to leave the bond as is at $1,000 cash surety. I do hear the argument of personal bond. I'm not sure that he will have any place to go. And I'm concerned that he will not appear back before court. It seems like there was some movement. The warrant didn't get signed until it looks like about 2022, but after that, he's had the opportunity to come to court a few times and has not availed himself of the complete judicial process. I'm going to leave bond as is, $1,000 cash surety in this particular matter. He will have to be seen before me for a PCC. I believe that is a week from today. Am I correct?
Well, Judge, he'd have a
Oh, bond redetermination hearing. That's right. His bond redetermination hearing will be on what day, Judge?
January 29th.
Okay. He'll have a bond redetermination hearing on January 29th, 2025 for the Honorable Chief Judge McConico.
Further dates, Your Honor, our probable cause on February 5 and
Okay.
preliminary exam on February 12.
All right.
Thank you, Judge, very much.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you for the hearing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. 1,000 cash.
Wait. The same as yours.
Mr. Reagan.
Trying to get in, Judge.
Oh, okay. DDC, do we have 2 more mails? Good afternoon. What's your name?
John Wood.
263, State of Michigan versus Sean Jaquez Lloyd, counsel.
Morning, Mr. Ragney. Good morning, Your Honor. May it please the court, appointed on behalf of John Lloyd, waive the formal reading, stand mute. Mr. Lloyd has been advised of his rights.
Court will enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf as to bond.
You were asking for a $10,000 personal bond, Your Honor.
Judge, I would never object to that.
That's a first. You objected me.
So while this case is pending, you're not to use or possess any illegal controlled drugs. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
I will set bond $10,000. Court date is February 3rd, probable cause conference, February 10, preliminary exam, both in front of Judge Jefferson. Thank you, sir. You can step aside.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hi, what's your name, sir?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Elijah Asia Order.
This is case 25-055-506, State of Michigan versus Elijah Harden, counsel.
Thank you, Magistrate. Steve Vincent for the people.
Judge, good afternoon. Philip Reagan on behalf of Mr. Harden. Waive the formal reading. Stan Mutiny has been advised of his rights. Good afternoon, Mr. Vincent.
Yes, sir.
Court will enter a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. As to bond.
Magistrate, we're asking for 5,010%. We're asking for a tether. It's an incident that just took place a couple, 2-3 days ago. Being charged as the R&O. Ultimately, it comes down to the assaultive part. He allegedly spit on a police officer after he didn't want to give that police officer his identification. Did a little bit into this defendant's past. I can understand why he may have not wanted to give him his information. He's got a warrant out of Macomb County as a direct result of a probation violation on a conviction for an attempt felony assault of a prison officer. He also has a warrant out of 27th District Wyandotte for a failure to appear for arraignment, counts of assault and battery. In addition to all of that, he has a 2015 misdemeanor R&O. He has a 2020 misdemeanor R&O, and he has a 2021 assault and battery conviction. So he has an assaultive past. Here we find this to be highly assaultive, spitting on a police officer. We're going to be asking for that 5,010% with monitorization.
Objection, Your Honor.
Hold on, Mr. Harden. So, Judge, what I'd ask the court respectfully to do is consider the personal bond. My client is in a completed welding school, Judge. He has a good trade. Today is his daughter's 10th birthday. He's trying to get out to see his daughter. I do understand, Judge, that he does have the case in Macomb. This case is a 2-year felony. I'm not trying to downplay the fact that it is a case, but I think it'll play itself out throughout the process. I would just ask for the personal bond. He's been by probation in Macomb. We talked about that earlier today. So I am asking for the personal so he can get out and spend time with his daughter, Judge, if possible.
Most importantly, get that probation revocation in order. That's my biggest concern.
Correct.
This is nothing. This is
Correct.
I intend to defend myself.
Probation.
All right, court will set bond $10,000 personal. Next court date is February 4, probable cause conference. February 11, preliminary exam, both in front of Judge Giles. Thank you, sir. You can step aside.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The walk-in ever show up?
Not to my knowledge, Judge. He'll do that. Judge, I apologize. Do you know what the bonds were for Mr. McCord?
One was 20,000 personal. I think the other one might have been 3,000 personal. I can't.
Okay, that's good. Okay, thank you, Judge. Your Honor, is there any way you could rename my device?
Yeah.
Trying to. Oh, I can do it. I'm sorry. I'll do it. I just was trying. I didn't see where I.
Yeah.
They're coming out and grab them now.
Okay, Greg.
It's what time is it? So I can say right, good evening.
Just say your first name. Say me on. All right, what's your name, please?
Jamelia Vassar.
Thank you. And this is case 25-055-507, State of Michigan versus Jamelia Aquanique Vassar, counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
For breaking on behalf of Ms. Vassar, Your Honor, waive the reading statement. She's been advised of her rights.
Leonard, not guilty plea on your client's behalf as to bond.
Your Honor, the people wouldn't object to a 25,000 personal bond. We've just asked for a condition of no assault of intimidating or harassing behavior.
No objection, Judge.
Okay. So what's the situation? Is her mom gonna let her back in the house or no?
Yeah, Judge, she talked to her mom. She apologized to her mother. They had a great conversation. My client just got a promotion or a new job, Judge. She, stopped celebrating at the bar a little bit. I think when she got home, things were a little bit out of hand, but they talked, I talked to Ms. Vassar for a while this morning, Judge, and I think that she is very accountable for everything. Her and her mom, I think, are going to be great. I think she's going to be great. I think this is isolated, Judge.
Thank you. Ma'am, you're gonna have no assaultive contact with your mother, is that clear?
Yes, that's clear.
Thank you. Total set bond of $10,000 personal. Next court date is January 20. No. Madam Clerk. The mint says January 25, but the sticky has two other dates, and today is the 27th, so it can't be 25. Oh, it's got 2027 on you. Yes, 2027 for the year. Yeah, but the sticky, I'll give you the whole thing. 1 minute for your next date. So the sticky note going to be the real date?
The sticky note is the right date.
Okay, what are those dates?
2/4/2/11.
Okay, next court date is probable cause conference, February 4th, preliminary exam, February 11th. What's the judge?
Who's the judge?
In front of Judge Jefferson here in 36th District Court. Thank you. You can step aside.
This way, guys.
Hi, what's your name, please? I'm sorry, one more time.
Jenny Wilson.
Thank you. This case 25-055-503, State of Michigan versus Janice Kenalita Wilson, counsel.
Cameron Ragnar for the people, Your Honor.
Celebrating on behalf of Janice Wilson, Your Honor, waiving formal written stand mute. She's been advised of her rights.
Court will enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf as to bond.
We're asking for $1,000 personal bond. The defendant has no prior PPL license. She thought was still in effect. It expired in August. So we're asking for a personal bond of $1,000.
Objection, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. While this case is pending, you're not to possess a firearm. Is that clear?
Yes, that's clear.
Court will set by $1,000 personal. Next court date is February 3rd for probable cause conference in front of Judge Robbins. February 10, preliminary exam in front of Judge Giles, both here in 36th District Court. Thank you. You can step aside.
Thank you.
Hi, what's your name, please? Thank you. And this will be case 19045-501. State of Michigan versus Lashondra Myrie, counsel.
Magistrate, before I make my appearance, I have this as a 2-4 case, not a 1-9. Is that correct or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, you're right. There was some confusion in the file. This will be case number 24055-497, State of Michigan versus Lashondra Myrie, counsel.
Okay, thank you and good afternoon, Steve Benson, P71917.
Your Honor, for the right, we have Ms. Murphy waive the written stand mute. She's been advised of her rights.
Court will enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf as to bond.
Magistrate, being charged as that FA as well as an A and B. And I understand that this is an incident date in October of 2023. However, we are going to be asking for a $20,000 10% cash surety bond. Here we have the defendant allegedly, at least the way I understand it, who ended up assaulting her mother because the mother was looking out for the best interest of the granddaughter. And apparently as a direct result of the grandmother not seeing eye to eye with how the defendant was handling the child, the defendant took exception. She grabbed knives and she slashed the grandmother as well as stabbed her. And that ultimately ended up causing the grandmother to sustain a substantial injury. The warrant has been outstanding for almost a year. I see it as being entered in the beginning of 2024. And this is a highly assaultive matter. I think the defendant has proven to be a danger at the very least to the grandmother complainant in this matter. An interesting note, magistrate, this defendant has one prior, and it was a domestic violence from 2011. The same complainant here was the complainant in that particular matter. This Miss Cotter. So this is something that the defendant has in her past. It's something that she's previously done to this complaining witness, and this is highly assaultive. So with all of that being said, we think that the $20,000 10% is appropriate, but we'll leave it to your Honor's discretion.
Thank you.
Judge, I think that the way the record is written, it's written a lot more serious than what actually happened. You know, I would note that Ms. McCotter did not go to the hospital, did not speak go to the hospital for injuries, and it even talks about another witness jumping in between to try. Nobody jumps in between, not being swung, Judge. And just talking to Ms. Myrie, it didn't happen the way in which it's written, Judge. It didn't happen that way. Judge, this case, as Mr. Vincent said, was from October 4th, 2023, was signed January 24th. My client was applying for a document, and this came up. I mean, she had no idea this even existed, until she applied. The police called her yesterday. They said that they had a statement they wanted her to sign. She was a victim of an assault case, and they told her they wanted her to sign a statement. They said, "Hey, can we come out and have you sign this statement?" She said, "Okay." They came to her house, asked for ID, asked her to step outside, and they arrested her. No statement. But my client, more importantly, Judge, she has a kidney disease. She's supposed to go to dialysis on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, Judge, and she hasn't had her dialysis. Now, this case been, 2023. I'm asking the court to grant a personal bond instead of a $2,000 bond, as people say. And obviously while it's pending, even though her and her mother might be on good terms, she's not going to be able to have contact because, she's finally rained on it now, and we have to go through the process of the case. So just asking for a personal, Judge. If it was yesterday, it may be a little different. It's a couple of years old. And it'll play itself out. Whatever happens. I do want her to get medical treatment as soon as possible, and she's going to abide by all the court orders. I didn't realize this case even existed.
So, yeah.
Go ahead, Mr. Vincent.
I was just going to say, Magistrate, just a point of clarification. She didn't end up going to the hospital right then and there. She did end up going and receiving medical care and treatment. I would push back a little bit in terms of this not making sense because somebody was trying to jump in. Somebody was trying to protect the grandmother. So they were trying to prevent this individual from using those knives that were found by the police with blood on them. I mean, there's a lot of corroborating evidence here, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, Magistrate. I just wanted to add that to the record.
Thank you. Court does find that defendant poses a risk of harm to at least the complainant, if not others. There is an indication that bloody knives were found in the house by the responding officers. While this case is pending, you're not to possess a gun, a knife, or any other dangerous weapon. They have no contact with Ms. McCotter and no contact with her home. Is all of that understood? All right. Court will set bond at $20,000, 10%. That will give you a bond redetermination hearing on Wednesday, January 29. Further dates are February 4th for probable cause conference, February 11th preliminary exam, both in front of Judge Giles here in 36th District Court. Thank you. You can step aside.
Judge, can I just think quick? I'm not saying, Your Honor, that it happened. Something I think happened. I think because you said there were two bloody knives that were found. I just think the level in which the court stated for time.
Your sound's breaking up. Your sound's breaking up pretty bad.
That me? I apologize. I just I think that the time past, Your Honor, has allowed things to kind of calm down. Don't necessarily he's a danger at this point. A couple, in 2020. So, as respectfully, court
Court satisfied with the bond that was set, and obviously you'll have an opportunity to argue in front of Chief Judge McConaughey on Wednesday morning.
Judge, could the court mark her file medical because she's really struggling with the kidney disease? She had her dialysis. But the court can mark.
Yes. DDC, if you can mark, that was Ms. Myrie, right?
Correct.
Mark Ms. Myrie's file medical, that would be great.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ma'am, what's her name, please?
Melissa West.
Thank you. This is case 24-060-649, State of Michigan versus Melissa Ann West, counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Your Honor, Philip Reagan, last name was reading stand mute. She's been advised of the right.
Court will enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf as to bond.
Your Honor, we do have some concerns about safety, given what the allegations are. But I believe that a high personal bond with no contact order at this time may be sufficient to help ensure the safety of the complaining witness. There is some age to this case. So, Your Honor, we will not object to a personal bond, just asking for a higher personal bond and no contact order.
Thank you.
Absolutely no objection, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. West, while this case is pending, you're to have no contact with Ms. Hars. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Additionally, you're not to possess a gun or knife or any other dangerous weapon. Court will set bond at $20,000 personal.
Thank you.
And your next court date is February 3rd, probable cause conference, February 10, preliminary exam, both in front of Judge Giles here in 36th District Court. Thank you. You can step aside.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Madam Clerk. One of the mix is missing a signature page. Signature page.
Ms. West, just have a seat. Come on.
Hi, what's your name, please?
Suzette Ivy.
Thank you. Ms. Ivy, we're going to start with a couple of tickets you have where you missed some court dates. When you miss those dates, the judge issued an arrest warrant for you. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide one for you. Do you understand those rights?
Yes.
All right. First ticket is U 557-77220. Looks like consuming alcohol in public. Excuse me, U 620-10021. Indecent and obscene conduct. And U 598-78021. Accosting and soliciting another for an act of prostitution. These are all misdemeanor charges. Maximum penalty you face on each is up to 93 days in jail and or $500 fine. We'll set aside the arrest warrants, enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, and give you a personal bond. Your next court date is February 24 for pretrial in front of Judge Wagner here in 36th District Court. Now we've got case number 22045742 and 23044143, State of Michigan versus Suzette Marie Ivy, counsel.
Straight, I'm gonna be appearing on the case ending in 5702, Stevenson for the people.
You're on mute, Mr. Reagan.
Sorry, what?
Thank you, Mr. Reagan. I will be appearing on the retail fraud case, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, Philip Reagan on behalf of Ms. Ivy as to both matters, Your Honor, waiting for a written stand mute. She's been advised of her rights, Judge.
Thank you. Court will enter a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. In the 22 case, the DV, there's a $2,500 cash surety bond signed by Judge Garrett indicating defendant cannot appear via Zoom. Defendant must post bond. And in the 23 case, there's a $100 10% capias as well. As to bond.
Magistrate, we would just ask you to continue Judge Garrett's bond regarding the aggravated DV. I think Judge Garrett ended up making it pretty clear that in addition to that, Judge, there was a complaining witness that was actually present at hearing following this defendant's second failure to appear in that case. She's already been to redetermination. She's already been given a personal bond. As you can see, she was arraigned and given a pretty substantial cash bond in the beginning. So respectfully, based on the multiple failures to appear, going up to redetermination, and seeing as though this complaining witness wants to be involved in the prosecution, we're going to ask you to continue that.
Thank you. As to the 22 case.
Wait, Your Honor.
No, he's still talking about the 22 case.
Oh, I'm sorry.
As to the 22 case, yeah, the capias order seems pretty clear from Judge Garrett. So court will set bond at $2,500 cash or surety. That will give you a bond redetermination hearing on Wednesday, January 29, in front of Chief Judge McConico. Further date is pretrial February 3rd in front of Judge Garrett. All right, as to the 23 case.
Yeah, she says two capias, and we'd ask 5/9/23 and 3/8/23. We'd ask for a $10,000 personal bond and a tether with home arrest. Of course, being declined. Thank you.
Hey, Judge, I apologize. Did Mr. Ragnar say personal bond with the tether?
Yes, I did, Mr. Reagan.
You did. So what I'm asking for, it's a $10 bond, Judge. I'm asking for personal bond on that case. I'm asking for a personal bond on Judge Garrett's case. Think that, you know, the 22 case, 3 years old, I do understand that she needs to come to court and take care of these matters, but I'd ask for personal bond for that.
Thank you. Okay, so yeah, the 22 case, I want to keep the capias amount in place at 2,500, 10%. As to the 23 case, looks like I previously gave her a personal bond. Ma'am, while this case is pending, you're not to go to any Meijer store. Is that clear?
Yes.
Court will set bond at $5,000 personal. Next court date is February 6th for a pretrial in front of Judge Bryant. Thank you, ma'am. You can step aside.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So she'll have a bond reduction case. Right. 29.
Only other case, yeah. Hi, what's your name, please?
Renee Hills.
Thank you. This is case 25-055-504, State of Michigan versus Renee Marie Nails, counsel.
Thank you, Magistrate. Steve Vincent for the people.
Right on behalf of Mr. Nails, Your Honor, what the stand mute, you've been advised of the right.
Court will enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf as to bond.
Magistrate, we are going to be asking for a 5,010%. Of course, we're going to leave it up to you. I would like to let you know that this defendant doesn't have any priors. However, this appears to be the assaulted part of the R&O. This defendant allegedly biting a police officer on his back, allegedly puncturing the skin, causing bruising, in addition to kicking the police officer. And then we had resistive allegations subsequent to the assaultive allegations. So we do feel as though there's a level of danger this defendant poses. And as a direct result, we're going to be asking for that 5,010%. Just happened about 2 or 3 days ago.
Judge, in my prior criminal history, she's a student at State University. She attends school. Judge, she's 22. She's sitting in front of her house, and police roll up outside her house, lights in her car, and things. I think that's late. I think she was attacked a little bit more than maybe she got attacked. I don't really know their reason for even coming toward her. I would ask for respectfully, Judge, for personal bond.
Thank you.
So we're not gonna deny recess.
Isolated too.
Okay, all right, bye.
Court will set bond at $15,000 personal. Next court date is February 5, probable cause conference, February 12th, preliminary exam, both in front of Judge Jefferson here in 36th District Court. Thank you, Ms. Nails. You can step aside.
And will this be emailed to me, the dates?
You're gonna get them when you leave. They'll give it to you before you leave.
Okay.
All right. That's everybody, right, DDC?
Yes, sir, that's it.
All right.
We'll see you at
Thank you,
2:30.
And do you don't have China Neal email?
The walk-in apparently